Hey guys, I'm Joe Begas, writer, producer, director, and star of Jimmy and Stiggs, which we shot entirely on Kodak 16mm film and 8mm film. We're in the Kodak House on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, and we're shooting this promo on 16mm and 8mm, the very same stocks that we shot the movie on. I was really excited to partner with Kodak on this because I've been making movies now for 12 years. I've shot 3 of my movies on film, and the question I always get is, how did you shoot on film? Like, this is crazy, how can you afford film? These are producers who make $5, $10, $15 million movies, and we made Jimmy and Stiggs for under $250K. It's not that expensive and it's not that hard. You know, this is a movie that is tons of blood. The camera's shot with fluids, it's covered in blood, it's covered in mist, it's fog, it's been smashed through walls, dragged on the ground. I'm swinging it around, I'm literally busting through walls at a point of view rig, and you know, we never lost any footage. I have a lot of friends who lost footage on hard drives, very expensive days of footage on hard drives. You know, a lot of people say that they can't tell the difference between shooting on film and digital, and I always tell them, the #1 giveaway is, how does the exterior look? If you shot in this room, we have all the windows closed right now, but if they were open, you would get a very nice exposure outside. So when you see stuff from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they're shooting in houses, all the windows are open, you can see outside. There's beautiful exposure outside. That's because film can handle that. And Jimmy and Stiggs, which if you haven't seen it yet, I hope you do after watching this, there's a lot of scenes where the sun's setting, you know, the movie starts during the daytime and it goes into the nighttime, and I really specifically wanted to shoot all the daytime stuff with the sun setting behind it. So we're shooting, the sun's shining into the camera, the Los Angeles sun, right there in the frame. Both of us are exposed. You've got the sun and me exposed. We didn't do anything besides point a 16mm camera with Kodak film in it right at me, and both are exposed, and it looks like a Tony Scott movie, because that's how good film is, that's how good the chemical process is. Another thing that really excites me about this movie is, you know, a lot of movies are shooting on film again, which is awesome, but I really think that we might be the only movie this year, maybe in the past couple years, that shot their titles optically. And this is the actual title that I shot. They look really good. You know, you got to manipulate the color a little bit to really make them pop, but it looks absolutely phenomenal. And all it was, you know, I hand drew every single credit, and we shot them all, and they look unbelievable. I mean, this movie top to bottom is shot on film, handmade, everything done like that. And also, we have our logos on an optical title, which I think, you know, I don't know the last time somebody optically shot the Kodak logo at the end of a movie, but, you know, we should bring that back. Another thing I wanted to talk about was my Aton Minima, which is one of my favorite cameras. You know, a lot of people say that shooting 16, the cameras are too archaic, they're too big, they're not easy to move around like digital, how you could run around, but the Aton Minima has something to say about that, because this is the smallest camera that you can shoot with, like interchangeable lenses, smallest, lightest camera. It has daylight spools, so I've changed the film in the middle of the sunlight and put a big wide angle lens on this. You could run around. It's like perfect for shooting skate videos. I'm a big Enter the Void fan. I'm a big Gaspar Noé fan in general, not just Enter the Void, but I feel like Enter the Void is fantastic, one of my favorite movies of the last 25 years. And the POV stuff in that was obviously a big influence for Jimmy and Stiggs. I wanted to do some POV stuff. And I'm also usually an operator. It's the first time I'm acting in a movie, so selfishly I wanted to operate and act. But this is the camera we used for that, and this is actually the camera that Gaspar Noé used, and irreversible. He was able to spin it around, do all that stuff. But this thing is so tiny, you could jam it in any space, you could attach it to cars. And this was also, like I said, what we used for the POV rig. My camera assistant is gonna come over here and put this rig on me soon so you can see exactly what we put together to shoot it. But this is also, like, if you're familiar with Requiem for a Dream, anything like that, this is the camera that they use to attach to their actors, because it's so small and the body can actually take it. But this is my pride and joy. This thing is amazing. We got this body rig right here that my assistant cameraman, Brian Dutton, put on me. So I wanna put this on, and I wanna show you guys our little POV rig. All right, and here's the rig that we used to shoot the movie in POV, and you're gonna see exactly what I saw when I started making it. As you can see, that's my camera operator, Jim Coons, who's a producer on the movie. We got Shane over here running boom. But I mean, I just want to show you guys how cool this stuff looks. Like, you just go into POV and you just come up with all the coolest stuff. I mean, you got an axe, you can be in slasher, and then, you know, I pick up this chainsaw and it just inspired me. It's like, well, I'm gonna make Doom. I'm gonna make this cinematic version of Doom. It just, having this vest on, figuring out this stuff, it makes you just want to be able to come up with all this stuff. And the second I started seeing stuff like this, you know, how do we figure out how to smoke a blunt with a POV camera? How do we figure out how to do a line of coke? How do we figure out how to swig whiskey, you know? What if I want to be in Desperado? It's just cool. It's like, you know, you're on a playground. So there's not as many roadblocks as people think when it comes to shooting on film. And in fact, it inspires you to be more creative and to think of different ways to do stuff like this, you know? This didn't cost much money, you know, it just took us figuring it out, people excited about it, and people get inspired by it. Pick up a camera, go shoot a movie, shoot it on film, you know, stand out from the pack, make a splatter movie on film. We don't have enough splatter movies on film. I want to see more horror movies on film. I want to see more independent action movies on film. I want to see everything on film. So go out there and make your movie and shoot it on film.